When people talk about abuse, they usually think about something visible: control, aggression, something you can point to. But no one talks about the abuse that comes wrapped in kindness. And I honestly believe that that is one of the most dangerous forms of abuse that exists, because there is no visible villain. At least not to everyone else. We're talking about manipulation, and with it, there is no red flag you can easily show someone else. There's just you see something nobody around you seems to see. They can create a complex dynamic where calling out their actions makes you feel like the unreasonable one. Everyone thinks they're amazing, and so when you try to explain what is going on to someone, they look at you like, what are you talking about? But I am here to tell you that this is very real and that you are not helpless. You don't have to keep playing a losing game. You learn how to change the game. Feels good to be back. I'm your host, Lyra Beyo. If this resonates with you, you already know what to do. Welcome to LAHRI. Manipulation is the covert, unfair, or skillful control of people, situations, or objects to serve one's own advantage. I call it witchcraft, but let's just say it is the strategic influence of one person over another to achieve personal gain. As a more simple definition, in our case, we're talking about significance, okay? They want to feel needed. They want to feel important. They want to feel like they're necessary or powerful, okay? They want you to think that without them, you are nothing. They want to feel like they are the reason you exist and function. The manipulation doesn't start when it gets to the point of you asking them for help. No, they first need to identify what you need that they can easily strip you of. This can encompass tangible assets like financial resources, or intangible elements like peace of mind, affection, or care. They usually target people who exhibit a certain susceptibility. For example, being in desperate circumstances, longing for emotional connection, or facing financial instability. They use your vulnerability as information and learn what you need so they can control access to it. They get to know you first and position themselves in the right spot for you to trust them. So before the dependency, the first thing they need to attain is your trust. And they do this by using kindness. The kindness works like love bombing works. And if you've ever been love bombed, you know that it all seems so sudden. And it feels like it's too good to be true. They are unduly helpful and they make you feel great, which is why you let your guard down so fast. But the thing about love bombing is it's not true. Okay, it is not true. It was never about you feeling good. It was always about them having access to you. It was about them getting in. And by the time you realize that, they already have what they need. Pay attention, because not everyone who offers you help has your best interest at heart. Okay, some people just want to feel needed. They want to cultivate a sense of dependency so they can maintain dominance over you. Initially, they may provide just enough assistance to foster gratitude and trust, but this can easily devolve into a method of control. They only help you just sufficiently to elicit a sense of security for you to feel you can be less vigilant. Enough for them to still be seen as kind, but their kindness serves as a tether, a leash that offers just enough to ensnare you in dependency and gratitude. And this is where the gratefulness trap comes in, okay? Human psychology 101, the reciprocity norm. As humans, when someone does something for us, it's easy to feel like we owe them and we have to repay them. And when we don't repay them, there's cognitive dissonance. I'm not against that at all times. It is good to pay back a favor. What I want to touch on is the Benjamin Franklin effect. When you do someone a favor, you like them more. But when you receive a favor, that creates a psychological attachment to the giver where you feel obligated to do something back, even when you didn't ask them to do something for you. And so manipulators use that against you. They make you feel guilty for helping you and subtly remind you of everything they've done for you. If you are planning on cutting them off or keeping them at a distance, this becomes more difficult and it makes you feel like you can't ever leave them, okay? And while all of this is happening, they are also making sure you have nowhere else to turn. Most manipulators use engineered dependency, and it doesn't happen immediately. You don't realize this until you have hit rock bottom and you need some help. In moments like that, you look around for support only to discover that there is no one available because they meticulously observed your weaknesses. Remember that? And then they orchestrated a scenario where you felt like they were the only solution to your problem by providing you with whatever it was you needed. Okay, in hindsight, you now realize that not only were they isolating you, they were also ensuring that you had nowhere else to run. Okay, they were also ensuring that you were utterly reliant on them. Some ways they do this is by getting you to distrust people who you know well are good people. And if it's family related, there's always some sort of conflict between family members, or they're basically manipulating other family members so they see you in a certain light. Another example would be trying to keep you financially dependent on them and discouraging you from having an income. One tactic that I am personally a victim of would be image management. And image management is another way to isolate you, okay? It is a term used in narcissistic abuse research. The manipulator skillfully manages their image in front of important people in life, ensuring that they are unwitting validators of the manipulator's distorted version of reality. It can be incredibly draining when you feel like you are the only one who sees this. They make sure that anyone you seek help from questions your perspective, leading them to believe that you are the problem and that you are actually the villain. So now you're isolated and you feel stuck with them. The moment they have done this, it begins to look like game over because they don't have to try hard and you're still under their control in every possible way. Or at least that's what they've conditioned you to believe. If this goes on for a long time, you will start believing that you cannot function without them, and you will practically be experiencing learned helplessness. You stop trying to reach out to other people, you stop trying, and you don't attempt to be independent anymore. Once you realize you're being manipulated and you fully decide to reject their help, they get angry, and that is very telling because it reveals their narcissism. Now you are seeing narcissistic injury. Remember that a genuinely kind person will not get angry when you say no. And so they stop helping you as punishment when you try to leave their orbits. And that creates a push and pull that keeps you destabilized. Never secure enough to feel safe, never desperate enough to break fully. Then they start to take back the things that they gave you to help you, and that is exactly how you know that their help wasn't genuine. A genuinely helpful person reduces help because you need it less, but a manipulator reduces help when you need it more, reinforcing your feelings of helplessness. So now what you need to do is control your information. Not everyone who's trustworthy needs to earn your trust. Not everyone needs to know your life story. Learn to keep certain information private, especially if it's sensitive, unless you are talking to your therapist or confronting the law. When they ask you questions about yourself, keep it vague, okay? You can tell them something, but not enough for them to put the pieces together. Just enough to keep them confused though. You want them to think that they're still in your good books and make them believe that they know more than they actually do. You don't have to lie. Lying is for them, not you. So for example, you went to a job interview, you're back, and then they ask you where you went. You can say something like, took a walk. You went to take a walk. It doesn't matter how long the distance was. I mean, technically you took a walk. Doesn't matter if it was short or long. You took a walk. They will probably still try to help you, and this is where you change the game, okay? You can accept surface level help, just enough to make them feel like they're being useful, but never make the mistake of being reliant on them completely again. Just keep them busy while you work on things that are actually like important to you, things that matter to you. For example, Cinderella. I mean, I know that they never helped her, but she made them feel like they were winning in life. So basically make them feel like they're winning. If possible, limit your contact with them so they don't have easy access to you. And if you are communicating with them, make sure you do it with very little emotion. This is how you control the game without manipulating them back. Also known as gray rocking. You learn how to protect yourself without becoming what they are. You didn't choose independence from a place of readiness. You were pushed into it because of the unbearable alternative of being controlled or manipulated. And just to be clear, independence is not a bad thing, okay? Even Paul tells us to not be dependent on anyone, but it is important to know the difference between independence that comes from growth and one that comes because you want to wanted to survive. Use whatever they force you into, but know the difference. And honestly, independence sounds scary at first, but you will get used to it. And it feels like freedom. Detachment might not be simple because sometimes it might be family or really close friends, but that shows that you are strong and you are willing to choose the hard path over being manipulated. My throat is so dry, but thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you're interested. Remember that I love you, God loves you. Peace. Bye, y'all. See you in the next video.